Money back if your horse finishes second to the SP favourite in any Channel 4 or RTE race during Cheltenham.
We'll move on to the Gold Cup if we can on Friday, gents. And Silviniaco Conti, clear favourite. Record at Cheltenham, Ted, isn't great. Is that a negative in your book?
It has to be a negative. I remember, a lot older than most of you, wayward lad. He won 2 or 3 King Georges, but he could just never do the same thing at Cheltenham in the Gold Cup. He'd arrive there with a chance, but just peter out. I don't know why he got beat last year. If he fell going to the last year, I would have thought he would have won, and yet he didn't finish in the first 3. I know Paul Nicholls says he has him in better shape this year. Maybe he has, but I just feel there's a hole in him once it comes to Cheltenham. He was travelling well with Ruby the year before and he fell. He was well fancied in the Supreme or the RSA the year before that and he didn't. He was third or something. There's just, Cheltenham is a place, is a bit, you have to operate around there, and for some reason he doesn't seem to be as good around there as he is at Kempton or Liverpool. So I'd be opposing him. With what, I don't know. I like Sherwood's horse. I think he's sort of good, tough, hardy horse. He wouldn't want the ground too quick, that's the only thing, would he?
No, I'd say definitely. And would you believe he's actually a half-brother to the Tullow Tank? Yeah. He's a well-bred horse that probably is best with ease in the ground. He was running a nice race in the Sun Alliance 2 years ago when he tipped
Manny
up.
Clouds, the horse we're talking about, lad, sorry.
When he tipped up down the back with Leighton Aspel, and I'd say he done it well the last day, didn't he? Around the track.
He did, yeah. Hollywell is another one I'd give a chance to. He's won around there twice. He's 10 or 12 to 1. If AP was riding him instead of riding Carlingford Lock, I think he'd be second favourite. John Joe has him fresh and well going there. I know he didn't beat much at Kelso, but he did it easy.
He beat me and Don Cossack in entry last year in the Grade 1, didn't he, Gordon?
He did, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Don Cossack is a good horse over any trip. But I mean, for him to beat him, I just think that Hollywell is a bit of value at 10 or 12 to 1 in the Gold Cup.
Gordon, it is a worry, as Ted said. If a horse doesn't seem to perform around Cheltenham, having had a poor track record, it's very difficult to have confidence in him. In a big race like this, you know, maybe some horses just like Kempton because it's a flatter track, and coming up that hill is a different story.
Listen, for me, 3 to 1 is too short. Paul Nicholls is full of confidence, but that's Paul Nicholls. Yeah, he's always full of confidence. He's too short at 3 to 1 for me. Road to Rich, Noel Mead's horse has been very good all year. It's hard to say he's going to win a Gold Cup after winning the Galway Plate, but he's done nothing wrong all year. So listen, I'd love to see him winning, or if he didn't win, I'd like to see AP win it on
Carlingford Lock.
Yeah,
another Galway Plate winner. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gas, I think, you know. But 3 to 1 is too short for me.
What about Jack Adam, Davy? Do you fancy?
Again, I rode in the Tyes days. We went a good gallop. Probably I went a little bit too quick on very heavy ground, and I walked up to Ruby after took him 10 minutes to pull him up and come back. And he said, you know, this is a Gold Cup horse. He said, this is a real good horse.
Ted thinks it might be a year too soon for him.
He's a 6-year-old. I think Ted, Captain Christie, are we going back that far?
Look, Captain Christie was 7. I think he was 7 when he won it. What do you call him? Long Run.
Right.
Might have been. Was he 6 when he won it?
Was he?
What? I think Long Run was 6 when he won it. Not too many 6-year-olds now. Millhouse was 6 the year before Arkle came along. But being a French horse, a 6-year-old Gordon, they're a bit more mature, are they?
Yeah, obviously Long Run was on the go, a lot younger, but I don't know.
What about ground for Jack and Ted?
I don't know. Sure, he handled Gordon ground very well. You just wonder how would he handle quicker ground.
I'd have to agree. Yeah.
I thought he was very impressive in Gordon, but I thought it was
top weight.
But yes, but I thought it was the worst Tyestis ran in a number of years, to be honest.
Well, if you fancy him, the horse that fell at the last, that was going to be second, you want to see how he'd run in the 4 mile.
Well, that's it. He's an absolute in the 4 mile.
Yeah.
You know,
if you think Jack Adam will win the Gold Cup, the horse that was going to be a good second to him in the Tyestis.
The job is right.
The job
is right. Yeah. You know.
Michael Horrigan's horse.
Yeah.
The job is right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you have to have something. I think Hollywell at 10 and 12 to 1 is an each way value. He stays. He's in good nick. John Joe has a great old record around Cheltenham. Richie McLaren knows this old horse well. I think if AP rode him, he'd be half the value.
I don't think he jumps well enough
Do you
to
not?
myself, no.
No.
Small little short lad.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, small, not over big now.
Speaking of small, Boston Bob, forgotten horse in the race. Do you think is he gone or not? Boston? Yeah, Boston Bob.
Thought he'd be a horse for the Ryanair, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. He's entered in
Is
both.
he in it? He could
I
run
think
it.
you
Yeah.
might be thinking of
Bobsworth. Sorry, Bobsworth.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bobsworth.
I think with Bobsworth, I think the big key here is he loves the place. I mean, last year was the only time he got beaten around Cheltenham. He will want it as quick as they can go, in terms of the ground, I mean. And I think looking
He's
at the
very
weather,
much under the radar as a former Gold Cup winner as well.
well, he's 16-1 out there, but I think looking at the weather forecast for Cheltenham at the moment, I mean, he's already talking about watering. So, I mean, the weather's going to get up to 14 or 15 degrees around the weekend, and that to me says that it's going to be quite quick come Friday, and that would have to suit Bobsworth.
It's suit Noel's horse as well now, Road to Riches.
It would suit Road to Riches as well. If anyone in the room wants Road to Riches, I'm going to go 10-1 him this evening. And I'm going to push out Silvia and Arco Conti to 7-2 from 3-1 for the room people only. But I think Bobsworth is a good each way selection at 16-1 with the weather forecast. And the other one, I'd agree with Ted. I think many clouds, but he probably does want a little bit of give in the ground. A lot is going to depend on the ground, lads. The prices are going to change drastically depending on what the ground is going to be.
Davy, defending champion, Lord Windermere.
Well, he loved the ground,
Cost me a fortune last year.
I thought we might let it go. Look, to be honest and genuinely, I wouldn't swap him for anything.
Really?
I think he's, oh God, he's a proper horse. Loves Cheltenham. I know his form isn't ideal. He's not, doesn't really handle soft ground. He's not mad about Leopardstown for the reason that there's not enough jumping in the second half of the race.
Okay.
I was in front plenty soon enough on the last day, but again, we tried it last year and he learned from it, and hopefully he'll learn from that experience this year, going over. It's probably a more competitive race. Whether it's a better race, I don't know, but it's very competitive, and I would not swap him for anything. There's no horse in there that I'd rather be.
I think Davy Russell gave him the ride of all rides in last year's Gold Cup. Yeah. The ride of all rides. Yeah. And he'll want everything going according to plan, I think, to win it again. Now, more power to him if he does, but I just think that last year, for me, that was the ride of Cheltenham. And I don't know if it'll happen again, Davy.
Ted, there's a lot of people probably question, are you going to enter Foxrock? What's the plan?
No, I won't enter him the Gold Cup. You can't run the Gold Cup as an afterthought. I mean, you can't.
Might be a bit quick for him to take.
Yeah, but you can't just say to yourself, "I'll run in the Gold Cup." For Jesus' sake, you can't. Just can't get up somewhere and say, "I'm going to play for Ireland." Do you know what I mean? No.
Few lads have.
Yeah, but you can't.
Say it about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, everybody said you can't. Like, I mean, if you were going to, I didn't.
Alan Cawley says it every day still.
I didn't enter him in January, so I would say unlikely.
Okay, Liam. Gold Cup, who do you fancy?
Well, I'm mad about many clouds, but I'm afraid the weather will probably conspire to upset those plans. I love the Hennessy Gold Cup at Newbury as a kind of a guide.
Yeah.
We've seen it plenty of times what they've done, and even placed horses and everything going on to win nationals. But I don't know how good this year's race was. But he jumped brilliantly, and he did the same thing about a month ago. I think he's a real smashing stayer. And I'd love if there was a few showers before it, but I'm going to...
You stick with him, though?
I'll stick with him,
yeah.
But I have an awful feeling that the showers mightn't even run him if it isn't going to be soft. But I'm going to stay...
Liam, you've touched on something there. Sure, Manny Clouds won a Hennessy virtually top weight, beating Jack Adam a furlong.
Exactly.
And we're trying to talk up Jack Adam as a Gold Cup contender.
Well, Jack Adam won at Thyestes off 145. Give him whatever improvement you like, but that's a long ways up to a Gold Cup, even an average Gold Cup winner,